Everyone, welcome back to Maths class, chapter number 25, Probability. In the previous session, we have discussed some basic terms and concepts, namely experiment, random experiment, sample space, equal likely outcomes, and an event. Let us move on to the next topic, that is measurement of probability. If in a random experiment the total number of events are called as outcomes are marked as n, out of which m events or the outcomes are favourable to a particular event E, then the probability of happening of event E is denoted by probability of E and is equal to the ratio m by n. Let us try to understand this concept measurement of probability with an example. Probability of happening of an event E is represented by P of E within the brackets. N denotes total number of all the possible outcomes. M denotes the favorable outcome of an event. That means to say, for example, if a coin is tossed, there are two outcomes. One is head, the other one is tail. That is known as total number of all possible outcomes. In an event, after tossing a coin, if the output is tail, then the number of favorable outcome is 1. When you toss a coin, you can get tail only for one time. Hence, the probability of tossing a coin to get a tail as outcome, the probability is 1 by 2. 1 represents the possible favorable outcome of an event. We have taken an event as when a coin is tossed, the output is tail. By 2, 2 represents total number of all possible outcomes when a coin is tossed. So this is a very simple formula which we need to use to solve all the problems. Exercise 25A. Question number 1. A coin is tossed once. Find the probability of. So, all the problems are having sub-questions, children. I will directly move to the solution of sub-questions. I am not going to list out the question here. You kindly copy the question from textbook. I will show what is the event and later solution for the sub-questions. So, when we are solving the probability problems, the first step is to understand what is an event is. Now, an experiment is what? An event is what? Now, an experiment is a coin is tossed. So, when you toss a coin, what are the possible outcomes? So, when I toss a coin, either I should get head or I should get tail. So, head or tail are the two possible outcomes. Hence, we can say that total number of possible outcomes is 2. So, whenever we start the probability problems, the first step is to note down all the possible outcomes of the given experiment or an event. Now, there is a sub question. The first sub question says we need to find the probability of getting a tail. Before we move on to the sub question, let us rewrite the formula once. It is compulsory to write the formula at the beginning of the question. Later you can solve all the sub questions. It is not necessary to rewrite the question formula for each and every sub question. Note down and write once the formula in the beginning of the question. Later you can proceed with all the sub questions. Probability of an event is equal to number of events favorable to E and by total number of all possible outcomes. So, total number of all possible outcomes is 2. It remains same for all the sub questions. Now, in experiment, all the possible outcomes are listed out. Possible outcomes will not change. Only thing is we need to note down the favorable outcomes. Let us move on to the sub question. Getting a tail. So, when you toss a coin, how many times you can get a tail? It is only for one time. So, we are going to denote number of favorable outcome is 1 and probability of getting a tail is 1 by 2. So, numerator represents a favorable outcome and the denominator represents all the possible total outcomes. Question number 2. In question number 2, it is said that not getting a tail. So when you toss a coin, you should not get a tail. If you are not getting a tail means what, children? Use your common sense. It is nothing but head. So how many times there is a chance to get a head when you toss a coin? It is only one time. Hence the probability of not getting a tail is also equal to 1 by 2. So in the probability problems, what we do? First we will note down what are all the possible outcomes. That place will be denoted as denominator. It remains same for all the sub questions. Total possible outcome remains same for all the sub questions. But the favorable outcomes, it changes from event to the event on the condition. So a coin is already tossed. We have two outcomes, one is head and one is tail. Now let us start what it may happen now. So I am going to get a tail. How many times I can get a tail? It is only for one time. So the probability will be equal to 1 by 2. In a similar manner, if it is not getting a tail, means it is nothing but getting a head. So if you want to get a head, how many times you will get head when you toss a coin? It is only one time. So probability of not getting a tail is equal to 1 by 2. The concept is very simple, children, but the words are little bit new for you. Try to understand and think practically. There is no calculation at all, but you need common sense, you need practical knowledge regarding tossing of a coin and the playing cards and also with the dice. Question number 2. A bag contains 3 white, 5 black and red balls. All are of the same shape and size. A ball is drawn from the bag without looking into it. Find the probability of. We have many sub questions. First let us discuss what an experiment is. There is a bag which contains 3 white, 5 black and red balls. So what are all the total possible outcomes? The total possible outcomes will be equal to 3 balls, 3 white balls plus 2 red balls plus 5 black balls. So total possible outcome is equal to 10. That means you can take 10 times, you can take out the balls from the bag. Now let us move on to the condition. I hope you understood this, children. In a bag there are 3 white, 5 black and red balls. So all possible outcomes means how many times you can take a ball from a bag. So you can go on draw the ball from a bag. You can do it for 10 times because there are 10 balls in that. But now let us see what is the condition. The condition is probability of that the ball drawn is a black ball. Before that, note down the formula, same formula. Probability of an event is equal to number of events are favorable to E and whole divided by total number of all possible outcomes. Already we have calculated the total number of all possible outcomes, that is equal to 10. Let us see what are the favorable outcomes for the event based on the condition. The first condition is a black ball. Now find the probability of getting a black ball. How many black balls are there in the bag? There are 5 black balls. So if you go on drawing a ball from a bag, you can get a chance to get a black ball for 5 times. More than that is impossible because there are only 5 black balls in that. So probability of getting a black ball means there is a chance to get 5 black balls from a bag. So what is the probability? Probability is 5 by 10, that is equal to 1 by 2. Very simple concept. There are 10 balls in a bag. Out of that 5 are black balls. So when you draw all the 10 balls one by one, you may get a black ball at 5 different stages. Continuously you may get 5 black balls or 1 black, 1 white, 1 red, but we don't know. But how many times you can get a black ball? You can get a black ball for 5 times. Second sub question is a red ball. Anyhow, there are 10 balls, that is the total outcome. How many red balls are there? there are only 2 red balls. So the possible outcome is, favorable outcome is 2. The probability of getting a red ball is 2 by 10. 10 balls in that, when we draw all the 10 balls out from a bag, the 2 times I can get a chance to get a red ball. Hence the probability is 1 by 5. And the sub question is probability of that the ball drawn is a white ball. How many white balls are there? There are only 3 white balls. So you can get a chance to get a white ball only for 3 times. More than 3 is not possible. So favorable outcome is 3 and the probability is 3 by 10. Next sub question. It is not a red ball. Now think children, not a red ball. We have 3 different colors in that. So not a red ball. That means when you draw the ball from a bag, the red ball will not appear. That means what? When you draw a ball, don't consider the event when you get a red ball. It should be ruled out. By that time, how many times you can get the other balls? Remove red ball from the total outcome, that is 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. This sentence can be understood in another way, children. The question might be like this. Find the probability that the ball drawn is white and black. That means to say, how many times you can get white and black and not the red ball. Next question. Not a black ball. So take out black ball from the group. What will be remaining? 3 plus 2, that is 5. 5 by 10 is the probability. Simplified form is 1 by 2. Sub question number 3. In a single throw of dice, find the probability of getting a number. In the last video, we have discussed about the possible outcomes when a dice is thrown. So when you throw a dice, what are the possible outcomes? It is number from 1 to 6. So total number of all possible outcomes is 6. The formula is probability of an event is equal to number of outcomes favorable to E, that is an event, by total number of all possible outcomes. So total number of all possible outcomes is 6. Let us move on to the next topic, that is the sub question greater than 4. What are the possibilities that you can get greater than 4 among the numbers from 1 to 6? It is 5 and 6. That means there is a chance to happen only for 2 times. Hence the probability is 2 by 6. The simplified form is 1 by 3. Second sub question is less than or equal to 4. So when you throw a dice, you need to have an outcome as less than or equal to 4. Which are all those children? List out 1, 2, 3, 4. If 5 and 6 appears, it won't satisfy my condition. So how many times you can get 1? Only for 1 time. 2, 1 time. 3, 1 time. 4, 1 time. So hence all the favorable outcome is 4. Hence the probability is 4 by 6. The simplified form is 2 by 3. And the third sub question, not greater than 4. Outcome is same, but the way of question asked is different. Not greater than 4. What does it mean? A number less than or equal to 4. Am I right, children? If it is not greater than 4, what does it mean? It is a number less than or equal to 4. Hence the favorable outcomes are 1, 2, 3 and 4 and the probability is equal to 4 by 6, which is equal to 2 by 3. Next, question number 4. In a single throw of dice, find the probability that the number. So the experiment is same, that is throwing a dice for 1 time. Hence the total number of all possible outcomes is equal to 6 and the formula remains the same. Let us move on to the sub question. The first sub question says will be an even number. So among 1 to 6, the numbered with dice, which are all the even numbers? That is 2, 4, 6. Hence it is for 3 times and probability of getting an even number is 3 by 6 which is equal to 1 by 2. In the similar manner, the sub question 2 will not be an even number. So other than even number means they are, of course they are odd. Which are all those? 1, 3 and 5. Again if you count, the possible outcomes are 3. Hence the probability is 3 by 6 which is equal to 1 by 2. And the last sub question is, will be an odd number. One and the same. If it is not an even number, we understood that it is an odd number. Again they have mentioned, find the probability that the number will be an odd number. Which are the favorable outcomes? 1, 3, 5. So the count, it is 3 times we can have it. Hence the probability is 3 by 6 which is equal to 1 by 2. With this we have completed 4 questions of exercise 25A. Children, keep only these 3 points in mind. The first one is the formula. Second one is, whenever an experiment is done, we need to list out all the possible outcomes, total number of all the possible outcomes. It remains same for all the sub questions. And based on the condition given with the event, list out the outcomes, count the outcomes, that is nothing but the favorable outcomes. So concept is simple, solution is simple, but you need to know the meaning of the terms and how to represent the answer. I know that there is more part to write, the text wise you need to write much over here, but as it is very simple concept, writing out the formula, listing out the elements, representing probability with the given event, with the formula, with the substitution, with the solution carries marks. So each and every sub question should be marked properly and should be written in the same manner. If you have a doubt, you can refer your textbook how the answer is represented. Kindly do follow the same, children. Very simple chapter and easy to score marks also. Let me continue with question number 5 in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye bye.